Rivalry in sport are formed by the desire to be the best, to conquer the unconquerable. They elevate the game from being just a competition to something far greater. The victory is not just a matter of skill, but a matter of will. Over decades, India and Australia have battled not just for victory, but for pride, for legacy, and for the ultimate symbol of cricketing supremacy, the Border-Gavaskar Trophy. The competition, a symbol of cricketing excellence between India and Australia, was established in 1996 to honour two cricketing legends, Alan Border of Australia and Sunil Gavaskar of India. The rivalry encapsulated by this trophy extends far beyond the boundary ropes, reflecting a cultural exchange between two cricket-obsessed nations. As the mid-1990s approached, the cricketing landscape of India and Australia was significantly different. Australia, under the leadership of Mark Taylor, was emerging as a dominant force in world cricket.
Mark Taylor took over a good side that Alan Border had led well in the last part of his career. But the important thing that Mark Taylor did was he took a good side and he made them better.
Their success on the global stage was becoming increasingly consistent, and they arrived in India with the intention of asserting their supremacy. India, on the other hand, led by the young and promising Sachin Tendulkar, was a formidable team at home, but was still striving to establish itself as a powerhouse in Test cricket. The inaugural Border-Gavaskar Trophy battle in Delhi, held at the Firozshah Kotla ground, was the only Test match of the 1996 series between India and Australia. Known for its dusty pitches and testing conditions, it was 10th October 1996 where it all began. Under the new captaincy of Sachin Tendulkar, India's lineup featured a potent mix of seasoned players and emerging talent, ready to face the formidable Australian side. Vikram Rathore opened the innings alongside Nayan Mongia. Saurav Ganguly came at number 3, who brought aggression and flair to the top order. The middle order was anchored by some of the most reliable names in Indian cricket: Sachin, Azhar and Rahul Dravid. India's spin attack was led by Anil Kumble with the support of Sunil Joshi and Ashish Kapoor, while Venkatesh Prasad spearheaded the pace attack with debutant David Johnson. Australia, captained by the experienced Mark Taylor, arrived in Delhi with a lineup brimming with talent, despite the absence of Shane Warne due to injury. Michael Slater and Mark Taylor formed a strong opening pair, setting the stage for the middle order, which included Ricky Ponting and the War twins, Mark and Steve, who were known to be adaptable and consistent. Michael Bevan added further depth to the batting, while Ian Healy, one of the finest wicket-keepers of his time, provided stability behind the stumps and in the lower batting order. Glenn McGrath led the pace attack, backed by the all-round capabilities of Paul Reifer. Brad Hogg, making his Test debut along with Peter McIntyre, were tasked with handling the spin duties in Warne's absence. Australia won the toss and chose to bat on the challenging pitch, was bone-dry, crumbling surface, behaving more like a third-day track. From the very beginning, India's spin attack, led by the formidable Anil Kumble, began to weave their magic. The Australian batsmen, unfamiliar with this treacherous turn and variable bounce, found themselves trapped in a web of confusion and misjudgment. Wickets stumbled as Australia gets bundled out for a modest total of 182. Kumble was the architect of their downfall, taking 4 for 63, with Venkatesh Prasad providing crucial support. If day 1 belonged to the Indian bowlers, then day 2 was all about Nayan Mongia's resilience. Typically known for keeping, Mongia surprised everyone by opening the batting and standing tall against the Australian bowler.
Before the test match, the selectors and they told me that you had to open the test match, this series. And there was only one test match and they wanted to play 5 bowlers. So that combination was fitting and they told me in advance. So I was mentally and physically prepared for that.
His innings was a marathon, 152 runs that spanned over 8 hours, marked by immense concentration and relentless determination.
One of the reporters told me just before the test match, in the eve of the test match, that you're going to get 100. I said, if I get 100, I'll give you a wristwatch. He said, you have to give me a wristwatch. I said, okay, fair enough. And I gave it to him after the test match. Not immediately, but when he met me again, I gave him a wristwatch.
While Mungia held one end, Sourav Ganguly provided the flair at the other, contributing a well-made 66. But one of the more intriguing moments of the innings came when a young Brad Hogg, making his debut in place of the Indian Shane Warne, was brought into the attack.
My first test was back in 1996 in Delhi. The interesting thing there, I was bowling to Sourav Ganguly and I decided to come around the wicket. I'd only just started bowling leg spinners a year and a half before, so I'd never ever tampered with spin bowling before that. Probably 1 year of off spin in grade cricket. And Mark Taylor comes up, "What are you coming around the wicket for, Hoggy? What are your plans?" I said, "I've got no idea, mate, I'm swinging it." I just had no real knowledge of leg spin bowling. I was meant to go there as Shane Warne's understudy. I wasn't really meant to play, and Warney got injured. And they've decided, well, we've got to play the young man, see what he's got. To Mark Taylor's credit, he said, right, we're just going to have square leg or deep square leg 10 metres behind square, a leg slip, 45, and a slip. We're going to try and get in a sweep hard in front of square, and we might get the top edge. First ball went for 6 over mid-on. I looked at Mark, plan's going pretty well. And next ball, Ganguly swept it, top edge, and caught our first slip. But Mark Waugh had to run a couple of metres to short fine leg to catch it. But at least I can say to my grandchildren, the first slip caught my first deliveries.
Despite the small victory for Hogg, India continued to build their lead, reaching 361 by the end of their innings. The combination of Mungia's marathon effort and Ganguly's stroke play had given India a commanding 179-run advantage. Australia's second innings began on a difficult note on day 3, with Michael Slater falling early to a wide shot. His innings in the second part of the test remains one of the starkest memories from the match. Known for his cavalier approach, Slater epitomized the adventurous spirit that could either dazzle or destroy. In a period of frenetic form, his state of mind was a concern for his teammates, opening in the second innings after India had just established a substantial lead. His choice to slash at the first ball he faced was a reflection of his audacious style, but it resulted in an edge that was barely within reach. The ball, travelling at what seemed like the speed of light, evaded the Indian slip fielders but found its mark in the hands of Mohammad Azharuddin, ending Slater's innings prematurely. This was a harsh end for a player who scored 44 runs in the first innings and had more runs than 6 of his colleagues, including the then upcoming Ricky Ponting. Steve Waugh held firm with a determined 67 not out, but the rest of the batting lineup crumbled under pressure. His second innings was a study of perseverance and mental fortitude. After a rare duck in the first innings, Waugh recalibrated his approach, focusing solely on the task at hand. His 67 not out was a masterclass in defensive batting and concentration, demonstrating that runs could be still scored on a treacherous wicket. Waugh's ability to fend off the relentless attack from Anil Kumble and others was a testament to his dedication and skill. Australia was eventually bowled out for 234 in their second innings. With Kumble taking 5 wickets, India needed just 56 runs to win, which they chased down with ease, securing a 7-wicket victory. This victory was significant, as it marks Sachin Tendulkar's first win as captain and India's first victory under the Border-Gavaskar Trophy. The match highlighted the importance of patience and determination, particularly in the subcontinental conditions. Mungia's innings was a cornerstone of India's victory, and Kumble's relentless bowling proved too much for Australia. The win set the tone for future Border-Gavaskar trophies, establishing the rivalry as one of the fiercest in Test cricket. At this point, India won, Australia 0.